Welcome to Beyond the Headlines on the WMD Plus app, where we break down today's local news stories with our very own reporters. I'm Cameron Main.
And I'm Jack Bozikis. Today we're talking about what happened at the Pekin State of the City Luncheon earlier today. Then we'll discuss what you need to know as we kick off tax season.
Oh, that's pretty important. And lastly, a local small business in the Twin Cities is set to close its doors, and we'll tell you why.
But our first big local story of the day puts Cameron in the hot seat. He's talking about the Pekin State of the City the mayor gave earlier today after he went to the Avantes Dome to view the event. Now, Cameron, what did the mayor talk about?
Well, I will have to say, first of all, it was my first time at the Avantes Dome. It was a very impressive venue. I didn't even know there was an Avantes Dome. And, you know, as someone from Bloomington Normal, I loved Avantes. But anyway, let's talk about the Pekin mayor.
Of course.
So she was pretty happy. She was pretty happy with the 2025. She said it was a year full of growth. In her words, a takeoff year. And now she's looking to make 2026 another takeoff year. So kind of her key things that she hit on, she was very happy that Epic Medical, the Singapore-based group, is coming to the area. They're going to build 100 jobs. There are a bunch of infrastructure improvements. It seems like there's economic growth in the area. She listed a fair amount of ups for, you know, at the end of the day, quite a small city. This is a city of over 30,000 people, and they were pretty happy with the state of the city as it is. And they obviously talked on a bunch of subjects, but they did end up talking about that data center, which has caused a bit of backlash from some residents.
Yeah, definitely. What did Mayor Burrs have to say about the data center?
Yeah, I wouldn't go as far as say it was a double down, but it was relatively close. She kind of stood still strong to the data center. She was like, hey, you know, when this came towards us, they needed some certain amount of buy-in. We gave them that buy-in. We want to see how far this goes. You know, currently the data center is still in a feasibility study, so that's checking with Ameren and I believe as well Illinois American Water, or maybe probably talking with Groveland about the Lyttelton Lake water. Just trying to figure out if they actually have the resources to do this. So this is going to still take some time to actually get going. But at the end of the day, she said, look, I know it's a controversial thing for some people, but we're going to make sure it's the right way. After the feasibility study, we're going to try and figure out if we can actually make this work, if it works for the area, and if we do need to have some kind of zoning incentives, as she said. I'm not going to say she said tax incentives, because she hasn't said that yet, but that's kind of what could be on the table. But it seems like she's still going in the direction of wanting to keep that data center going. And also, they are holding a town hall later on March 24th at the Pekin Community High School. I believe that's correct. Our producer who's from Pekin can, she says I'm correct. Oh, yeah. So that's going to be happening. So that's something residents can look out for in the coming months.
Very cool, very cool. So now they're apparently looking for a rebrand. What's that all about?
Yeah, so I think as well, you know, coming from this, you know, to the city, Peoria specifically, there's just kind of this one, you know, there's some negative names said about some of these other surrounding towns and cities, and Pekin is one of them. It doesn't have the best reputation among the people around the area. And so their rebrand campaign is trying to figure out a way to market Pekin as a place where you can go. The way that she said it is, we don't want people to just come here and be pleasantly surprised. They want the people to be like, oh, this is where I want to live. This is where I want to work. This is where I want to move in. This is where I want to travel to and experience the food and culture in that area. So I think they're going to do this, a 3-year marketing strategy to try and kind of rebrand Pekin. Some of those details haven't necessarily been released of what they're going to do, but that seems to be a key priority over the next couple of years to actually lock that down. And so we'll see how that ends up shaping up. It looks like they seem very positive about the direction of the city. They seem pretty happy with how things are going, and it looks like they're just going to keep trudging along with it.
All right, very cool. Seems like the future is bright for Pekin.
Yeah, it seems like it, at least from the mayor's perspective.
At least from the mayor's perspective. Very cool, very cool. We'll check this out on Tuesday, just in time for the big game. Heinz is cracking open a new way to enjoy America's favorite condiment.
Oh, okay.
Introducing the Heinz Ketchup? What? The first ever keg of unmistakably rich Heinz ketchup. inspired by a solution the beer industry has tapped countless times to ensure fans never run dry. The Heinz ketchup allows watch parties to never be short of the crowd favorite condiment, because an empty ketchup bottle may be a bigger party foul than a dry keg. Interesting. I love ketchup.
Really?
I love ketchup.
I despise ketchup. I hate it. Yeah.
Why?
Look, it is like artificial tomato. And mind you,
guess.
I'm like one of those weird tomato lovers where like a raw tomato, whatever you want to call it, I'll eat it. Disgusting, revolting.
Yeah.
But tomato sauce on a pasta, favorite thing.
Yes, there's that old adage where it's like hot dog doesn't belong, or ketchup doesn't belong on a hot dog, right? Mm-hmm. I don't believe it.
Oh, okay. You love it.
I put ketchup on my hot dogs.
I just also, the keg, the ketchup, like those are some big ketchup bottles. You don't really run off that often. Like you don't run out all the time of ketchup, unless from your experience.
My best friend, his name is Ted, he eats more ketchup than anybody I've ever met.
Oh, really?
Like he'll get like one chicken nugget and he'll like douse it in ketchup.
So he'll probably buy this.
He would go for
Yeah.
a ketchup keg. I totally believe it.
All right, when we come back on Beyond the Headlines, we've got Jack, and he'll be over in the hot seat to go over some tax season tips. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Another big local story of the day. Tax season is officially underway, and local experts say waiting too long to file could end up costing you more than you expect. Jack talked with a tax expert to give us more info. I wish that tax expert was there when I filed my taxes.
Right.
But yeah, what stood out to you most when you were talking to this tax expert?
Yeah, well, it's the scariest time of year, and I'm not just talking about Halloween. It's time to file your taxes. What stood out to me is just that don't wait. You wanna file your taxes on time.
Mm-hmm.
If you wait, you're just gonna cause more problems for yourself. Don't let it pile up. Don't put it off. And I spoke with the president of Total Income Tax on Forest Hill, and he was saying that it's just human nature to put things off. Don't fall into that. You don't want to get caught in end of March, early April, and you only have 2 weeks left.
Right,
that is not
okay.
what you want. So that, I think, was my biggest takeaway, at least.
Right, okay. And so why is filing your taxes on time so important then?
Yeah, so if you don't file your taxes on time, basically that's just going to cause you more problems. And the way he described it was it's a snowball effect. Once that snowball keeps rolling and it keeps getting bigger and bigger, and once you put it off, you're going to start getting more and more problems from the IRS, and that's the last thing.
That's the last thing you want to do.
That is the last thing you want.
I've heard the last thing you want is the IRS just on your
breathing
back.
down your neck.
Yeah.
That is the last thing you want. And another big thing that he said this year, there's just been so much tax laws that have changed from last year regarding the big beautiful bill and a lot of other stuff. So he said it would probably be best to go through a professional this year. Just if you're filing when you file your taxes, go through a professional, because they are the ones who have studied this new law, who know what it's going to be about. And he also said a lot of, because of this with tax on tips and overtime and pensions and stuff, a lot of the refunds are going to be significantly higher than previous years.
Oh, really?
So that's some good news. That's some good news. We all love getting more
After
money
I see that chunk of my paycheck gets yoinked out.
Yeah, exactly.
I do like seeing that back in my bank account.
Absolutely. So those are kind of some of the biggest changes this year.
Okay.
Say, yeah.
So then what's the biggest piece of advice you give to someone, just thinking about filing their taxes?
Yeah. You want to get all your forms together now. Your W-2s, your 1099s, get everything you need now. And like I said, don't wait, don't procrastinate. And even if you know you're going to be paying back some money, he said a lot of times people just won't file just because they know they're going to be paying it back, and that causes a whole mess of other problems. So even if you know you're going to be paying some back, even if you know you're going to owe money, you still want to file. Absolutely.
So yeah, just stay on top of it, know what you want to file, and know what you need to file as well, and get all the appropriate documents from, who you've worked under, especially if you've moved places and stuff like that.
Start
yeah.
a new job, anything like that. You want to have all the correct paperwork and like I said, go through a professional.
Right, okay.
Absolutely.
All right, thanks, Jack. And while we have you in the hot seat, we've got to go over movies, obviously, about what's hot in the box office this week. So what's going on, Jack?
There's a lot happening this week. One of the biggest movies, there's probably two that are competing for the top spot, which is Send Help, directed by Sam Raimi, which stars Dylan O'Brien and Rachel McAdams. That's a new horror movie, and Sam Raimi, classic horror director with Evil Dead. He also did the Spider-Man trilogy with Tobey Maguire.
Oh,
Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3.
yeah.
So he's got some name recognition alone that'll bring some fans in. The other movie that is going to be I'm going to be keeping a lookout for is called Iron Lung, which is a new film based off of a video game, and it's directed by Markiplier, who is a YouTuber.
Right? Yeah.
He's a video game YouTuber. This is his debut. So yeah, a lot of it's a horror game, so a lot of horror fans are going to be making their way out to
and
to go see this one.
I had the pleasure of actually seeing a lot of that Iron Lung hype for the game when it came out. I watched a bunch of playthroughs from it because once you watched it, it's a very linear game. So once you've watched it, it's kind of ruined.
I've never played the game.
It is really worth playing, and it's worth kind of blind playing as well because it is such a unique horror game. I think, especially because with games, we've kind of gotten to the point where everything is starting to get done. So you need to get more and more creative. And this is a really creative game. And it had this kind of very basic lore, but felt very in-depth at the same time. So it was very easy to dive into and get obsessed about and try and learn more materials about it. And it's very Lovecraftian, cosmic horror.
Oh, really?
It's really, really cool. I think I'm really excited to see if that movie actually turns out to be good.
Yeah, I know we got some people here who are excited. Our meteorologist Molly's really excited.
She's freaking out.
We got somebody on digital named Josh is really excited. Josh is really excited for it.
Everybody's pretty excited.
Everyone's excited for this movie, so I'm excited to see what the hype is about and see how it does.
All right, thank you so much, Jack. All right, we've got one more local story for you when we return on Beyond the Headlines. We're sitting down with Austin Feeman, who will be live from the Twin Cities newsroom to go over local Twin Cities business that plans to shut its doors. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. Another big local story of the day. Rop Jersey Cheese, a cheese farm that has been open for more than 2 decades, is closing in the coming week.
That's right. WMBD's Austin Feeman joins us live from the Twin Cities newsroom to tell us what's going to happen to the farm and why the closure is happening. Austin, thanks again for coming on. Always appreciate it. But why is Rop Jersey Cheese closing?
Yes, thank you, Jack. Thank you, Cameron. So Rop Jersey Cheese is a cheese farm located in Normal, Illinois, and Ken Rop, the owner, is, I went over and spoke with him today, and he told me it's pretty simple why he decided to close. He's ready to move on. That is simply put, he's ready to move on. He's ready to do different things with his life. He's getting older. He's almost 55 now, and his daughter. He asked his daughter if she wanted to take over the family business, and his daughter, did not want to. Not at all. She's not interested in any way of taking over the family business. So, he decided to post on Facebook that they were going to close on February 7th. Now, he said that it's been great doing business for 21 years now, and he loves his customer base and everyone that comes in. And when I walked in there, every single person that walked in there, he stopped and he had a conversation with them and he connected with them. And that's really special, especially when you're a busy place like Rop Cheese. At least 15 people came in and out while I was there for the 15-20 minutes. So. He wants to do something new. He was telling me he's a workaholic and he's been doing this for 21 years, and he really wants to go do something new.
All right. Well, Austin, what will happen to the animals, and also what will happen to the farm?
Yeah, so in regards to the animals, they will be sold to an out-of-state farmer in Pennsylvania. He has a few buyers that are interested in the animals. So the animals aren't the problem. It's really the equipment and the actual farm or the plant that is a little more complicated. So there were plans for someone to come in and buy out the farm and to keep it running, but unfortunately those plans, they ended up falling through, and now no one is going to really buy it and keep the place up and running. And also it's a family business, and no one else in the family, like I said, really wants to keep the business going. So as far as the equipment, that's just going to be sold off to really anyone. He was telling me he's open to ideas. Anyone who is interested in any of the equipment or has ideas of what to do with the equipment, he is willing to hear them. But after everything is done, after the shop closes, he really wants to be a greeter at Disney World, is what he told me. He is a Disney fanatic, and he just would love to go people watch all day. But, after all this, and even after the Facebook post he made yesterday, he had a surge of people come in within 20 minutes of making that Facebook post, and honestly bought so much of his product. And he was telling me that he's a little worried that he's not going to have enough product to make it to that February 7th closing, let alone make it to the weekend. He was telling me that he doesn't even know if he has enough to make it past this weekend. So everything's really up in the air. All we really know is that Ropp Jersey Cheese is closing. It could be this weekend, it could be next weekend. It's really when the product sells out.
All right, thank you so much, Austin, for breaking that down. It's sad to see a cheese place go. So you might notice that I have this little wired earphone here. I don't know if you can actually see it, but it's just a sign that wired headphones are back in fashion. Emma Watson recently told Vogue she keeps old school plug-in headphones in her handbag at all times. The cover story for December's issue of New York Magazine also featured celebrity duos, including Ben Stiller and New York Knicks star Karl Anthony Towns, sharing wired buds on the subway. Misplacing earbuds or losing one of them seems to be the biggest reason for the switch. Are you a Bluetooth guy? I'm still I still have wireless headphones. So.
I am a Bluetooth guy, but I'm like the big over the head.
Oh, really? I still
headphones.
like it wired with the big headphones, like when I'm gaming or on the computer.
Yeah. Well, when I'm gaming, I do have a wired one.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm just if I'm going on a plane or something, Beats, Bluetooth, noise canceling.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I'm good to go.
And you're
I'm
just
set.
knocked out, lights
But I do
out.
like that switch to old style.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting when it comes back into vogue. I remember Kamala Harris was seen with wired headphones, and then she was like, oh, I was on the National Security Committee, and they told you don't wear wireless headphones because they could actually hack into them. Not anything we will probably have to worry about because we are probably not going to run for Senate or become the Vice President of the United States, although that does sound fun.
That wasn't your plan?
I legally cannot. I'm not even a citizen, so I can't even do that.
True.
All right, well, thanks for joining us for today's Beyond the Headlines. You can find all these stories and more. Where, Jack?
Over on our website, ciproud.com.
For breaking news and weather updates 24/7, log on to ciproud.com and download the free CI Proud to Go mobile app.